gentlemen, NBs, this is the ESE Fantasy Podcast. Back at it again with more awards coverage. And we are with the big one today. The biggest one so far by a mile. We have our Oscar nominations. It's all official now. There's no more guessing. This is what is nominated for the Oscars. We had some snubs. We had some dubs. We'll get into all the goodies here in just a minute. But just off the rip here with my good buddy Charlie, what did you think of the dubs, the snubs, the chaos that the Oscars created with their nominations, Charlie?
Yeah, we got some fucking great stuff, some record-breaking stuff. Horror, 4 different horror movies nominated.
F1.
Yeah, F1. It's we got a lot to dive into today, but I think most importantly, Duke, 16 nominations for Sinners, not beating the record by 1, but smashing it by 2. It's official now. It is a Hollywood Hall of Fame movie. You know,
one of the greatest movies of all time, officially. I mean, that's straight up.
And it will always have that nominated.
Crown. Mm-hmm. Now, what a cool thing!
It's always going to have that crown. And this is going to be a fun show. We're going to reflect on the year. We're going to talk about everything that we have, but I think that's the perfect way to kind of start this off, is talking about by nominations by movie, Duke. And we knew Sinners and One Battle After Another were going to be the biggest hitters today. 16 nominations is fucking insane. That is absolutely well deserved. And look, I think that's going to be a lot of the talk for the next, what are we? I think 9 weeks now from the Oscars. So
you're going to see a demonstrable shift in the pundits talking about Sinners being the favorite now. That's just what is inevitably going to happen. I mean, if it doesn't, I'll be mind blown. There might be some people out there that are like, no, hold the line. But there are going to be a lot of people that watch this shit are going to be like, holy shit, Sinners might just walk away with this whole thing.
It could be the case. So, I mean, yeah, just what are your thoughts on Sinners with 16, One Battle with 13, and Weapons with 1, which also gives Warner Brothers 30 nominations.
I mean, it's a hell of a dub for Warner Brothers.
Every other studio.
Yeah, they bodied everybody else by a mile. I mean, it's really cool. Especially for Sinners, because obviously I've been championing that movie this whole year. Like, as much as I like One Battle.
The line, man. Fucking April. It's not. That movie came out 9 months ago.
I know, but I have, and it's like One Battle became a villain to me at one point because of it. Like, as much as I love that movie, because I love Sinners so much, and I feel like we're never getting another movie like this. We need to take recognition of that. And so for me, I'm glad that it got the recognition at the Oscars. It's been getting some lower level recognition, but it's missed in some spots that it obviously did not at the Oscars, in some places. And so, I mean, there are some absolutely massive nominations that, some of which we have literally not even seen at any of the other major shows. Which
I would argue one of the biggest upset nominations I've ever seen, and it's this simple: 4 people in total on Award Expert, just like Gold Derby, one of the biggest, most popular nomination prediction apps. Only 4 people had a certain nomination. Just to give you an idea,
I think I know which one that
insane.
Is.
Like, it's one of the most insane nominations, and we'll get into it. But yeah, I do want to take 1 second here, because we talk a lot about horror movies, and there's going to be a lot of narrative spinning from this, of course, which is why we opened with
our first theater experience of 2026 was a horror movie.
Correct. And there was some almost, I'm going to call it a fucking hit piece earlier this year from Variety about Sinners. And I'm going to read it verbatim. It said, Sinners has amassed 61 million in its global debut. Great result for an original R-rated horror film. Yet, the release has a $90 million price tag before global marketing expenses, so profitability remains a ways away. And you can just point to so many differences that they did, mainly with Christie, talking about, how never mentioned once how it's got this hill to climb. Besides the point. And what did they call it there? An R-rated horror film. They can't own up to this because Variety, Duke, has already started calling it a supernatural thriller. The narrative's going to change real fast. You're going to have these people that are trying to just say, horror? No, this is a thriller. buddy, this is an American horror film. All right, we need to get that straight for this award season. And I hope people that are watching this are like, you can see when they were trying to bring this movie down in April, right? For more reasons than one. And there's a lot more you can get into if you want. They called it a horror film. They called it a genre horror film with vampires. They were trying to do so much bullshit. And for Sinners to get 16 nominations, I think that was the proper way for us to really kind of get into the show today. But yeah, Duke, I guess let's just kind of jump right in. And we're going to just jump right into Best Picture. All right. I think that's going to be the easiest way to start. And then we can jump into everything else. So at Best Picture, we open it up with Begonia. Safe to say, a fun ride for Begonia this year. I think a lot of people that did their predictions back in, March or April of this year had Begonia in, so it was probably a thumbs up for them. So good job on that. No surprise to us, Begonia's been here for a little bit now. It really turned the tide once J. Kelly, Wicked, and Avatar fell off, which, who knows if we're even talking Wicked that much today. Holy shit. Fucking goose egg.
Wicked for gone.
Yeah, we'll get into that. F1, Apple gets a big one. I feel like it's been a broken record, but for 6 months since we've seen the movie and since we've been talking Oscars, we've been saying, keep an eye on F1. Don't let it forget. You'd have people have F1 ranked in the fucking 20s. And you remember we went through this list. The motherfucker had F1 ranked at 27. And it's like, what are you doing? Do not forget this movie. So I want to toss it to you now, Duke. Begonia, F1. How are you feeling? Obviously, F1 is really special because we got to see that movie together. So, son of a bitch.
Yeah, literally, that's like a top moment of 2025 for sure, But I'm glad to see F1 make the journey all the way there. There were some bumps in the road. Really cool that it gets to be in here, and I don't know. It may have a stronger night than it seems like it's going to on paper with all that it's nominated for. So you never know. But yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for it. I mean, to be honest with you, Begonia, it's similar for both movies, right? It's been up and down all year. It's like, will they get in? Are they the two movies that just get bumped out by some weird stuff, But our blockbusters weren't there this year. And clearly that's going to be a staple in Best Picture with 10 with a number of 10 for the category now. So one blockbuster is getting into this category every year, which maybe implies that the blockbuster can win the thing, if it's good enough and not, pure just nonsense or whatever. Which I'll say this, I don't think F1 is winning. But
that would be a shock.
But I mean, it's really cool that it even got nominated because, like I was saying to you in our DMs earlier, it's like a full circle moment for us because we've been talking about this movie all year. It's like one of our favorite experiences at the theater because we both went to my local theater that I go to all the movies that I watch and watched it together. And one of the two anyway, and had a real good time, good popcorn, good everything. It was great, and so to see it make it all the way here is really cool. Begonia, I'm just glad it made it. I feel like it would have been really sad if it didn't, Like,
it's been a rocky road, but the past month it really started to land on its feet. So
yeah, I think it's one of those ones. We look back on it now that we're at nominations. There were movies like this last year where it just looked like it wasn't going to make it, and then like barely made it at the end. Like Maria for its performance. Like it's like it looked like it was just going to miss because other performances started gaining momentum, and then whoever it was that gained all that momentum at the other shows just kind of petered out.
Yeah,
or took someone else's spot. So
then we jumped into we had Frankenstein, who picked up 9 nominations on the night. A lot of big, tech ones that we'd expect from Frankenstein. We jump into Hamnet, who had 8 nominations on the night. These next few are no surprise. We jump into Marty Supreme, which also had 9 nominations on the night. One Battle After Another, which had 13. Sinners, which of course had 16. And then kind of our last, we had our 2 international films again in The Secret Agent and Sentimental Value. And then Train Dreams wrapping us up here. So obviously, I think the 2 internationals, it seems to be a thing going, using last year and this year. We kind of felt the tide turning really big for The Secret Agent here.
It seems like if you're not if you're the French filmmakers right now, you might want to try and talk to like other European countries or something like that to get your movie made, because it seems like France is very interested in grabbing the movie that's the best movie from the world that's not getting any motivate, not getting a push toward the Oscars, because it seems like the two slots they get in are France and fucking in Brazil, dude. I'm not even kidding. It's what it seems like.
It does. And look, here's the big things,
Look,
right?
one of the film festivals is in France, isn't it? Like, I'm pretty sure. Like, isn't there a film festival in France?
Cannes is in France, and that's why France had it. Was
Just
just an
checks
accident
out,
this year, and that whole big story. And
that actually makes a lot of sense because they have a lot of influence over that film festival, I'm sure. So or what gets in. And
well,
stuff
here's
like
the
that.
thing,
and that obviously influences the Oscars way out far in advance.
So as we get into it, you can see kind of who held the line and who jumped in, right? Train Dreams kind of became Netflix's other movie that was really starting to hold the line.
It just felt like this could not make it in at this point, right? With how good it is. I mean,
but
right?
I think it's safe to say the 1v1 fight was F1 versus It Was Just an Accident, and F1 won the fight. So It Was Just an Accident didn't completely blank. It got screenplay and international, but Duke, we really felt the tide turning here, and I think this is the biggest. You got to talk about snubs, right? Only 10 can get in. There's going to be some that don't get in, and It Was Just an Accident. The Palme d'Or winner lost momentum at the worst possible time, and I think it might not have. It might have been 12. Weapons might have been 11.
Maybe BAFTA could save us with It Was Just an Accident, but I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, it sucks for Panahi, but, F1 just beating that third international movie, I think makes a lot of sense, and that tide was being felt. So,
unfortunately for him, too, I think another movie came along that maybe might have taken some of the shine off of his because of how relevant it was. I don't know. We'll have to see. But
yeah, we'll have to see. But sentimental value in The Secret Agent getting in for, Brazil and Norway. Back-to-back years of a Brazil film, so good, awesome to see that. This, if you're gonna have 10 best pictures, let's open it to the world. I think let's get the best movies in the world in there. So that's what it's all about. The other big miss here, I think it's safe to say Blue Moon was probably 13, based on how it went tonight, and then Surratt, Sorry Baby, and No Other Choice just kind of at those other spots. No Other Choice completely blanked. It's another Wicked here, so it's a goose egg. I don't know. Are you kind of along the same page? I feel like it was F1 and It Was Just an Accident for 10 and 11. Maybe Weapons, but that's a big fucking maybe. It's more likely Blue Moon, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe it could have been all four of those, and they were just like, all right, which one is it?
Yeah. And how they tally up the votes. F1 was probably just higher on a lot of people's ballots, so.
That's what I would think, yeah.
Yeah.
All depends on how they score the voting, right? If one vote counts as one vote, it doesn't matter where it is in your list, then. But, if it's, your top 5, you get, +2, +3. I wonder, you know what I mean? Because that's how we did it for some of our stuff, to try and weight the top picks a little bit more.
It gets pretty interesting, to say the least.
I have no idea how they do it. Again, I'd love to interview somebody that's involved in this process.
There's a really good, I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he does the math of how they do it, and it's pretty nuts on how it goes down. So
yeah, it's not just I picked this, and then 100,000 other people do.
No, yeah,
that does happen, but they pick it, and there's point. I'm sure there's point values assigned and weighting depending on which spot, and so why one ends up in the top 5 of some categories is probably because of that weighting, because when we get the one, I'll just imagine that's what happened with the one that got in that we were like, what? So, yeah, right.
So we get in now
they didn't deserve, but whoa, I did not see that coming given the landscape we've had the last 6 months or whatever, right,
what the hell? All right. And then we get into actress in a leading role, and again, the tea leaves were kind of there. It wasn't a complete wash. But so we had our top 4 here. Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Renata Reinsva, and Emma Stone. Renata did hold the line. Again, SAG just did their own thing with sentimental value, clearly. Kate Hudson, Duke, gets the 5th spot. So beating out Chase Infinity, beating out Amanda Seyfried, and I think it's safe to say,
Look, you see the tea leaves, they were there. Here's what they were.
Yep.
Amanda's dead. That performance has got no chance because there's nobody pushing it seems like.
Yep.
Obviously it doesn't because she didn't get nominated, so GG's, unless she gets the BAFTA push, I guess, but which I don't even know if she made the long list, so who knows, but I'm sure she did, but anyway.
Now the Testament of Ann Lee completely blanked the long list of BAFTA.
Oh. Well. Yikes.
Yeah.
But that's not good for them then. That sucks for Mona, man. I hope she gets in that movie. Fuck. It's
one of those things. It's just it's Searchlight, and they just didn't campaign for it. Clearly,
yeah, which is weird considering the campaign they did for their movie last year. But whatever. There was also Emma Stone involved in that, so that's probably a big reason why. If I had to guess, she seems to be a very smart individual. But that being said, the other part that was there that was pretty obvious was that it was always kind of a weak spot for Chase. Like, she was obviously more of a lead in that than Teyana. I think everybody kind of agrees with that. But, it's not the greatest performance of all time or anything, I don't know if I'd have seen her beating
it's
any
not a big
of
time
them.
leading performance. She's more of a supporting.
I don't think I'd see her beating even Renata in that category. So, a lot of ways, she was just sort of holding that fifth spot until somebody else emerged. And then, obviously Songs on Blue comes out at the end of the year. We see what Kate Hudson does. As the math is just there. It didn't have to go this way for the Oscars. It's going to look weird looking back if she only got nominated for a few of the precursor shows, because no one had really seen it yet or whatever, at least that we knew of, enough to nominate it at the earlier precursors. So it's going to look a little weird historically, but I mean, most people are only going to be looking at the Oscars and maybe the Globes, I would think. So it'll be interesting to see what people think of that going forward. It'll be fun to look at this last year, especially if she were to somehow win, which I don't think she will. But if she were to somehow pull out the win, unbelievably, then
right?
It'd be like, well, I guess there really is no way of knowing because she didn't even have momentum, and somehow managed it. So, but I don't think that's happening. But it is an interesting thing to think about. So, yeah, but those tea leaves are definitely readable.
And I think it's one of those things where my guess is people just didn't see Chase as the lead. And I think it impacted a lot of the votes. And people probably really loved Kate Hudson's performance.
I honestly wonder, is there really a true lead actor in one battle?
It have to be Leo.
It one without one?
So it's weird. It is strange.
Because you can almost argue Leo also isn't really the lead, but he probably is the closest. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It's kind of the brilliance of the movie, maybe, huh? And then so we got some stats here. So this is Emma Stone's 5th acting nomination, which becomes her 7th overall nomination, where she has achieved the youngest woman to ever have 7
so she's like the modern day Meryl Streep. Got it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So
not that Meryl Streep's not still alive, by the way, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, ability to get nominated every fucking year, like.
And then Kate Hudson and Jessie Buckley, this is their 2nd nomination. So then obviously a first for Rose Byrne and a well-deserved first for Renata Reinsva, who was fucking big-time snubbed for the worst person in the world. So, yeah, that's a big one. Renata, again, could be going back-to-back, guys. If you're not aware of her movie next year, she might be going back-to-back. So, yeah, it could stack up quick, to say the least. But, all right, actor in a leading role. This is the one that we went 5 for 5 on. This has kind of been the way it's been for a while. There was some last minute push maybe for Jesse Plemons, but
I mean, I spun a narrative about Joel last week, so
Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio, one battle after another. Ethan Hawke with Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan Sinners, and Wagner Moura with The Secret Agent. Couple big stats coming out of this. This is Leonardo DiCaprio's 7th Oscar nomination for acting. Timothy Chalamet
would only be his 2nd win, which is insane.
Yeah. Chalamet and Hawke, this is their 3rd. And then that means this is the 1st for Michael B. Jordan. So, and the 1st for Wagner Moura.
Honestly surprised he didn't get a nomination for Creed. It must have just been a nutty year or something.
Yeah. Timmy becomes the youngest actor since Marlon Brando for 3 nominations. He's the youngest ever to be nominated for a movie acting in plus producing. And then Wagner Moura is the first Brazilian Best Actor nomination ever.
Wow. He might win. Holy shit.
So, again, I think that's now that Timothy's really put these stats together, I think people can feel comfortable saying he is the best working today. It's just one of those things where sometimes you need a little bit of stats to back it up. It's no more question anymore, Timothée Chalamet. Not that it should be. And he's going to be here again next year. Maybe not in the Oscars, but his movie definitely will be. And he's going to be playing Paul Atreides again. So it's just like, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Duke, third nomination.
If it's been known that they're going to do all 3 of these movies for a while to the pool, right? It's possible they've been waiting until Dune Part 3 to reward this guy. Because as great as he was in the first 2 movies, anyone that knows anything about the material knows that he's going to have to get to levels in the third story that he just hasn't had to yet with that character, you know? Because the character's presented in one way in the first 2 movies.
I do wonder if there's going to be some Timothy burnout because he's going to.
There might be, but I do
he's going to win SAG last year.
If there was ever a chance for him to win for Dune, potentially his last Dune movie that he's going to be involved with, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, at least in a major way, you know?
Yeah, because Dune's probably going to go to TV after this.
And even if it doesn't, I mean, what role he'll have going forward in that, who knows, right? If any, you know? So
yeah, might jump 10,000 years in the future. I'm trying to
avoid spoilers here, but there's reasons why I can't say. But I know what the situation would be, but I don't want to spoil it for people that don't. So, but just know that, you know, there's a reason why they're making a big deal out of this third one because it's probably the last time we'll have Denis and Timmy involved, you know. So, but potentially, because I mean, you know, it really just depends on whether they continue the story or not on film, you know. If they don't, then I don't think we'll see them both again. I don't see why they would. I mean, maybe Timmy would want to continue on, but I don't, you know, it really depends on where the story goes. I mean, it also depends on what changes they make. I mean, they could drastically change the story in a way that makes everything I think I know irrelevant anyway. So, you know, I don't think that'll happen, but you never know. So, this is Denis. We know he likes to clean these stories up a little bit. So, you know, maybe he leaves it in a place where that's not even a question, right? You know, or it just doesn't even matter and he just doesn't get nominated. But I think, you know, we've talked about that before. I mean, it didn't happen with Wicked too. So, but maybe it's not really a thing the Academy does where they wait till the other part comes out, if you will. But I don't know. What happened last year does not bode well, but it's coming out later in the year. So hopefully that doesn't hurt it as bad this time, you know?
Who knows? But yeah, so third, you know, youngest actor since Marlon Brando for 3 noms. He's going to be here again in his career, to say the least. All right, we had actress in a supporting role. Elle Fanning, Ingabe's daughter, Lilius, Amy Madigan, Wunmi Musako, and Teyana Taylor. So that last spot was kind of a fucking the both sentimental value girls getting in again, kind of being like a fuck you to SAG. It's kind of funny. But yeah, it was really, you know, Elle Fanning versus Ariana Grande versus Odessa Zion, and Elle Fanning stands the test of time. So good for her, and I think this proves Wunmi Musako has really gained a lot of momentum. So yeah, I think this is a great 5 here. No complaints here. Nice to see the Amy Madigan thing. After all the fucking, you know, people on TikTok like to be like, hey, she's never going to get nominated for that. You sure? The guy that there was this dude that was fucking just raging in my comments one day that bet me $100.
Oh yeah, right.
And I went back to look. That comment's gone.
Wagner got nominated for SAG for Best Actor, right?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that because I bet he has a SAG card, dude. I was wondering if that was a little bit of the politics between that and BAFTA. It was like maybe people want equity, people that work for equity, you know, get nominated more over there because the politics, and over here at SAG we nominate SAG people because he has done American movies. A lot of people don't know that. Wagner Moura has been in the thing over here, like, you know, so.
Oh, yeah.
I forget what it was, but it was actually something pretty major, I think. I don't think he had a crazy role in it or anything, but like he was in it and he was known and people liked him. He just went back to Brazil because Bro is a badass. I know it's Brazilian cinema's where it's at.
Hell yeah. So the only duplicate nom here, we had Amy Madigan. This is her second nomination. Her first one was in 1986. 40 years apart, a lifetime apart. Fucking awesome. And then everyone else is on their first here. So well-deserved all around. Again, I don't think there's any real shockers here. You know, it's kind of all stuff we've been seeing. It's nice to see both sentimental value
thing is cool because, like, we didn't know, but she's really been building up her momentum again, and the fact that she gets in at the Oscars is cool. I mean, who knows? Yeah. Maybe she fucking walks away with the whole thing if Sinners really goes and has a crazy night, you know? Like,
yeah. Best actor in a supporting role. Probably the biggest shocker for acting nominations right here. Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi, Delroy Lindo, Sean Penn, and Stellan Skarsgård. That obviously Delroy Lindo getting in over your Paul Mescal and your Adam Sandler. Big fucking moment for him. Well deserved. First ever acting nomination for Delroy Lindo. How awesome is that? Wow.
And I had to give you credit for this, buddy. Go back to our Sinners review, y'all. This man was onto this performance in our review of Sinners. He said this might make it to the Oscars.
I was hoping. I lost hope, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how could you not? He didn't nominate for a single thing after the first couple precursors.
And then Miles got the SAG nom. I mean, maybe if Delroy got the SAG nom, I could have fucking come back around. But I was like, oh, man, he's second even on the Sinners cast.
So was this the one that 3 people had?
No, dude, wait till you see what we get into.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, it was fucking nuts. But
I mean, I guess you could have seen this one potentially coming, but you just held the line on it. But man, you've been holding it for a long time through some absolute fucking mortar fire. Holy shit.
The thing that made it hard to take off Paul Mescal was, while he wasn't winning anything.
He never missed. This is the first time he missed.
But he wasn't missing. So it's like, yeah, dude.
I genuinely think this is the first nomination he's missed all year, and that's fucking insane to think about.
Definite snub.
His head has to be spinning.
It's a snub, but I think people sometimes take snub as like a bad thing. Everyone's happy for Delroy Lindo, so it's like, but by definition, he was snubbed, so he didn't get in. That's the way it works. You know, maybe, again, to the both one Battle Boys getting in here. Sean Penn, 6th nomination. Benicio del Toro, 3rd nomination. And then, obviously, Jacob Elordi. Round of applause for him. He's an Academy Award nominated actor. Fucking awesome. Delroy Lindo, well-deserved. And Stellan Skarsgård, first Academy Award nomination as well for acting. So,
what I think is fascinating about Delroy being inserted into this is now I feel like this category is completely up for grabs because who knows now? You know what I mean? Like, I felt like it was Jacobs to just walk away with at this point, or maybe Stellan's, but like, dude, I don't know now. They might just go crazy and give it to Delroy. You know, like.
They might. I mean, that's what you got to look. I'm hoping they come back around and give this thing to Sean Penn. Now, will they? I don't know. But I'm hoping everyone kind of pulls their, realizes like, yo, that performance, if that's our best picture, right? That's the performance of the movie.
But is it with 16 nominations for Sinners? I don't know.
Maybe. Director. So there's been a couple spots here. So first I'll name the top 4, then we'll get into what the big one that got it, right? One Battle, Sinners. Oh, let me get the directors. One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson, Ryan Coogler in Sinners, Chloe Zhao in Hamnet, and Josh Safdie, Marty Supreme. Those have become the top 4. What was that 5th spot? When Jafar Panahi missed here, I knew it was GG's. Unfortunately, as they were kind of going through the list, I'm like, fuck. He's done. And really sucks for him. Really happy for Joachim Trier, though. Can't deny that. Guillermo del Toro also missing is the other big one there. What a great year for directing, man. We've been covering these, and we knew
the problem is this year he's just too oversaturated at the Oscars, bro. I just realized that he's getting his movie's getting nominated, but he himself, I wonder if he just can't win Best Director for a little while because of how much he's been nominated for stuff. Like
right. Now, recent years, they've done the screenplay, director, best picture, right? I think there's a chance this year that, because both guys are going to win screenplay, I think there's a chance you either have Coogler win director and One Battle win picture, or vice versa. PTA win director, Sinners win best picture. I think there's a really, I feel like we should hopefully.
My problem with that is I don't see them not giving to PTA director if they give him best picture. It feels like it's going to be linked this year because it's truly the two top movies this year are truly directorial efforts.
They are so far above and beyond everything else that I think there's a chance that Paul Thomas Anderson wins this, right? And Coogler wins the best picture, or vice versa. I just don't know if, with what we've seen with how much everyone's been wanting to reward Paul Thomas Anderson for this, it's going to have a hard time. I feel like he's more likely to get the director, but maybe there's that chance because you never know, right?
I feel like this is going to get nasty between these two movies, dude.
Yeah, because no
matter what, though, social media being a fucking political fucking firestorm about which movie should win. Like,
no matter what, though, by the end of the night, it's gonna be a 50-50 on who wins, right?
I mean, you hope so. You hope that one of them just doesn't miss in their screenplay, so you just could pretty much know what's going to happen. Right? You know,
if you know,
or if neither of them win director, and you're like, what the fuck?
If Sentimental Value wins like original screenplay, it's going to be like, oh, gotcha, wait, Sinners is not winning.
Is Joaquin in for director?
Yes, that was the other one. So
and what if he wins that? You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
then what do we do? Warning shots for Sentimental Value, maybe taking the whole thing.
Or what if it wins and then it doesn't win the best picture? I'm just saying, like, what if it wins best director? Because there's like, oh, well, Joaquin directed a great movie, you know, and then like Sinners wins or One Battle wins. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, they still pick up their screenplays or something, or maybe like you were saying, he wins one of the screenplays. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah, the Begonia shock. I don't know what could happen. You know, I don't know.
That is true. International feature film. So the one that misses here was No Other Choice, but in turn we get The Secret Agent from Brazil. It Was Just an Accident from France. Sentimental Value from Norway. Sirat from Spain, and The Voice of Hinrajab from Tunisia. So yeah, I think this kind of makes some sense. I think we've been thinking for a little bit. No Other Choice was DOA. Seems to be the case. This is an awesome lineup again, just like last year. What a great lineup, So nice to see Hinrajab getting mentioned, and then also Sirat. It was able to pop up a little bit. They weren't able to pull off the Neon 5, Duke.
Nope, they were not, but they got close.
Yeah. No Other Choice, still a great movie though. So unfortunate, but happens. Animated feature film, Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amalia, the character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. So, yeah, I believe we both went 5 for 5 on this. We kind of were thinking maybe there's that outside shot of Demon Slayer, but
it just hasn't been nominated recently. Yeah. The problem. It fell off, and, I'm not sure why, but anime movies seem to lose a lot of momentum toward the Oscars, I've noticed.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure why that is. I'm sure they have their own award show over in Japan and wherever. I'm not sure if Scarlet was Japanese, but whatever that movie was made. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I'm sure there's because like you would think the Japanese anime film of the year would at least get nominated for fucking Best International or something like that, right? Because it is an international movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that's why the animated category exists, because they never have a chance against live action shit. But like, I don't know. It's weird. Like I always wonder about that because anime is great. I mean, I know it's got like a stigma around it, but it's got great storytelling therein. And I don't, we watched a horror show that both of us I think thought was pretty good, for a fucking anime horror show. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like,
and
I don't know.
No Nizatu getting in. But yeah, it just kind of felt like, Elio was the one that maybe something could pass. That was like most people's fifth, but it just felt a little too strong when it was all said and done. So yeah. All right. Original screenplay. Blue Moon. Bang. It Was Just an Accident. Marty Supreme. Sentimental Value. And Sinners. So the secret agent hype wasn't able to fucking reach this high. But it was just an accident held on here. Jafar Panahi did get nominated for an Oscar. Duke, what do you think of the 5?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good 5. I think that it's tough because these two screenplay categories feel like they're already wrapped up. But
winner-wise, yeah.
Well, right. But at the same time, it's fun to see what actually gets the credit here. You wondered whether or not, they were going to, like, recognize Panahi at all. And the fact that he at least gets, like, that part of it acknowledged is really cool to me. That's going to be my biggest sadness all of this year is that movie and Hind Rajab. Probably neither of them have a chance at anything. But they're two of my favorite movies of the year. You know what I mean? Like, so
that's great stuff. This movie did so great with the tension, and that's all in that script. So, yeah, it would have been cool to see Jafar get director, but just wasn't leaning right at the top.
It's a really difficult year for director, man. I mean, you have the two top stalwart directorial fucking like absolute fucking insanity that you have in the top two movies, and then beyond that, every other, I mean, then you get
Marty Supreme were getting nominated. It just became a thing of you can't deny their.
And then it's how do you
nomination
value
for
sentimental
directing
value? Do you think they would have gotten there with that script without Joachim? And it's like probably not. So like.
Yeah, and that's just kind of where it ended
not
up
that
being.
Those actors aren't talented, but it's a really fucking. I mean, I can't imagine what that thing looked like on the page. Like I with what it was. I mean, the movie was great, but it was very. I mean, I feel like how much of it could you have actually written, and probably a lot of it more than I even realized. But like even so, I don't know. But wow,
Adapted screenplay went chalk, went 5 for 5. One Battle After Another, Train Dreams, Hamnet, Frankenstein, and Begonia. Again, no real shock here. If no other choice was a big time player, maybe you could have pulled off something, but it just wasn't the case. Wasn't happening. So,
which is funny because a lot of other shows penciled it in as 5 in this category, and I was like, okay, that's cool. At least it'll get on the show. Nope.
We're talking 5 Best Picture nominees here.
Mm-hmm.
They held that line for sure.
Oh yeah.
Best score. I think we had a bit of a surprise here. And that surprise is Begonia. Begonia took the spot of the 3 techno movies. So, but what else got nominated? Sinners, One Battle, Hamnet, and Frankenstein. And then Begonia beating F1, Marty Supreme, and Surratt. I can't believe Marty Supreme didn't get him for score. Fucking brutal, dude.
Yeah,
that is the best
crazy
score of the year. And it's going to fucking... Again, this is back-to-back years, though. So, look, I get I'm a sucker for these techno scores, but man... I mean, that score fucking makes moments in that movie. I wonder if those
scores are like horror movies to the Oscars, where they're like, well, that was good, but anything that sounds traditionally like what we would award here is going to go more in that way. It is sort of what all these movies have in it, sort of kind of scoring, like.
But that being said, I do like the Begonia score. I always think of it. It feels a little nonchalant at points, bro. And then you get to the bike
riding on the bike.
Yeah, and then it's like boom, boom.
How about her? How about Emma Stone when she first gets introduced as her character, and it's that fucking like badass fucking evil music? Come on, man.
Oh yeah,
that probably hits differently the second time you watch it.
So good. Original song. God damn it, Duke. We should have just put this fucking Diane Warren song in
every fucking fiber in my being was telling me Diane Warren's getting in. Fucking nominate Diane Warren because Diane Warren's fucking winning the category again.
Fucking A. I can't believe that. Dear Me from Diane Warren.
Leave it to Diane Warren to ruin the one fucking nomination I've been in. The only actual nomination I gave a shit really was wanting to make sure the right thing won, and it's gonna lose. I hate it.
Well, it's a tough category. I mean, especially if you factor in her in, because you got Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. I Lied to You, Sinners. Both of those are gonna have big claims to win. I have never heard of this. I've never seen this on any charts. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verity. We're going to have to check that song out, apparently. And then Train Dreams held the line. So, no Avatar, neither of the Wicked songs. So, yeah, I guess it kind of ends up being what it ends up being. But I don't know. I feel like that Viva Verity is a bit of a shock, right? Oh, I wanted to. No, we didn't get the sound yet. That's all right. All right.
I wonder if Wicked fans are crashing out right now. Probably
just sad. You know, Girl in the Bubble, I think was, if it was gonna get one, but Viva Verity beat it. Yeah, people didn't like the movie. That and its crafting. We'll fucking get into that. But Diane Warren, 10th time in a row she's been nominated, 16 nominations, still has never won. And I don't think she's beaten I Lied to You or Golden. Don't see it. So, casting. What is casting, Duke?
So that was the one people had 3, right? 3 people had, right? Was Diane Warren?
Nope.
What?
Or Viva Verity. Yeah. Well, I love that you keep guessing. This is great. I wonder if people at home are thinking the same. Like, what is that? What is he talking about? Okay, casting. What is casting? Hamnet. Makes sense. Marty Supreme. Absolutely should fucking be a contender to win this. One battle after another. They saved us. They gave us what this category actually might be. The Secret Agent. Thank you. Fucking thank you. I applaud you, motherfuckers and sinners. So we knew One Battle in Sinners and Hamnet would get in this. Marty Supreme and The Secret Agent. Fucking, again, it's their top 4 movies, right? That's fine. Do what you got to do. But to take The Secret Agent and pick it over Sentimental Value, to pick it over Frankenstein, and, you know, it's like, this is what this category should be. The Secret Agent has so many people in such small roles, right? From what we've been able to gather. And like, there's this woman in here who some people call the most inspired casting of the year about the role she plays and how she's characterized. And it's like, when I start hearing shit about that, I'm like, that's what I want casting to be. Right. And to me, Secret Agent and Marty Supreme, and then even our top 3, right? They just happen to represent this year, which is fine. But that is what casting should be. All of your fucking movie, your entire big roles, all of it. So the fact that Sentimental Value didn't get in proves to me, if you just have a 4-person movie, Anora wouldn't have gotten in. That's my fucking proof. The Sentimental Value didn't get in for this. If you just have a really small constructed cast, I don't think you're going to get in for this. It's about a large body. It's about all the shit you make. And all 5 of these movies are like so expanded for that.
I'm trying to think, would Nora contend with One Battle in Sinners? Probably not.
No. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I do think, no, because Mikey wouldn't be Jesse Buckley either. Yeah, no, I don't think Nora would do well at all.
I do think she'd get nominated, though.
Yeah, she'd get nominated. Because she'd be stronger than Kate Hudson and Emma Stone, for sure. So
she could be one of them out for sure.
But
probably
I don't know. I mean, likely, we've talked about it all year. The fact that Secret Agent gets in here, and it's the top 4 plus Secret Agent, but the top 4 might be an anomaly this year, right? So I don't know. How are you feeling about your first ever casting nominations?
I mean, I'm with you. I'm glad it went the way that it did, because at least all of these movies are some of the best cast movies of the year, in my opinion. You know, like, if it's the name on the card, what wins is going to determine a lot, you know, not for this Oscars, but for Oscars going forward, because we'll be able to look at this and be like, okay, this is what this movie was. Like I say, if Sinners won, okay, well, everybody in Sinners is pretty much perfect in their role or whatever. So, you know, like, that's great. And we have Michael B playing 2 roles. Okay, that's great. So what that implies is that you just have to be a Best Picture contender, one of the top 2 movies of the year, and have a really good cast. And if you have those 3 factors, it's probably a good chance that you're going to win this award, right? Barring that there's not some, like, you know, fucking Knives Out type situation where, like, every performance is nuts or something like that, you know, like, and then let's say Secret Agent wins. Okay, well, then it's the best role of the year wins, whatever. Like, we'll be able to take a little bit more away than just to the best cast movies of the year that get
I think,
in.
yeah, it's very important Sentimental Value didn't get in, because I think this shows us what casting is. Sentimental Value had 4 acting nominations. 4. Marty, 1. Hamnet, 1. Secret Agent, 1. Sinners at 3. And One Battle, 1, 2, 3. 4 for One Battle.
So having 3 or 4 nominations does have an influence.
But again, I think Sinners and One Battle are
one
different.
of the best movies of the year. Like you still have to have one of the best performances of the year somewhere in your cast.
Those are they're two fucking Oppenheimers fighting each other, if we're putting it like that. Like you're not gonna have 2 movies like this come around every year. Like it doesn't happen. So yeah, great stuff. I love that we can use the information now though of what casting is to a degree.
All right, I'm going to throw a random ass question at you. Mm-hmm. Brutalist. I'm going to insert the Brutalist into this now. Brutalist versus Sinners versus One Battle. Well, which movie do you think gets the edge?
For casting?
Yeah.
Sinners.
Okay.
I think my gut tells me this is Sinners award right now. Now, there's the pessimist side of me that says, well, it's a second place trophy for now.
Even in this year, Brutalist would have been nominated for this. I just want to be clear about that. You know, like, as crazy
maybe in
as
the Hamnet spot?
Maybe, possibly, because I mean, well, I would imagine just in that year, Hamnet would have not been made out of respect or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, no, but
it's hard, right?
Probably in the Hamnet spot. I mean, I would really.
It's hard to put them heads up because I think if Marty Supreme or Hamnet were last year, I also think they might win.
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
So,
I don't know.
I think again, am I overrating the top 4? Maybe, but. They feel that strong
with what you just said at all. I'll be honest. So, I mean, you're probably right. But I mean, I just think like I'm trying to think of movies that would have been nominated for this last year. I think Brutalist definitely would have been one of them.
Specifically?
Yeah, like I think Brutalist would have been one of them.
I think Brutalist is kind of your perfect shout of what could have been. I'm going to be interested to see like what happens with Dune in this.
Could there have been a shout for maybe for a different man in this category? Because I mean, it had a lot of really solid roles in it. You know what I mean?
Dude. Wicked would have been nominated for this.
100%, obviously. But I mean,
I think last year's 5, knowing what we know now, Amelia Perez, Wicked,
okay,
Conclave.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Brutalist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a Complete Unknown and a Nora in that same category. I think you would have had something else thrown.
So I would think it would have been based on what they got nominated at the Oscars. It would have probably been a Complete Unknown, honestly.
No, but I think they both might have been treated like a sentimental value. So I think that's where you could slip in either Dune, right?
Yeah, they probably would have been Dune, honestly, considering how much they snubbed Dune. It probably would have been
maybe
one of the places they put it in.
With how, what would the category have been?
I mean, they literally used the actual people in Sing Sing.
Right? So that has to matter, right? At the end of the day, that has to matter. Well,
some of them anyway. I don't know how many of them were actually the actor. I forget.
It was just the 2 actors. And one of them was the guy. So it was 2 actors plus the main supporting character, who is an actor now. But yeah, it was Coleman Domingo, the guy that got EKIA'd. Those were the 2 actors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. But everyone else was the actual people, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome.
Why
I wish that movie had a chance last year.
To me, that wins casting, but Wicked probably would have.
100%. Yeah, Wicked probably would have walked away with it. But that's fun to think about from last year, because that would have been a fun category last year too. Shit, you know?
Cinematography.
Oh, all right. Shit. This is where it all went to hell.
It to an extent, yes. So, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Okay.
Hello, Hamnet?
Hello, Hamnet. So I think your big 3 here are One Battle, Sinners, and Train Dreams based on wins. And then we look at what's been gaining momentum. Frankenstein's always been there. So that's kind of been assumed number 4. But I believe it was the CSC picked Marty Supreme, and the ASC did as well, if I remember correctly. And that's when people were like, oh, Marty Supreme's getting that 5th spot, because that's who's voting on this. You know what I mean? So it happened to turn out, but no fucking Hamnet.
It's so funny, because I remember saying before we even saw Marty, I was like, there's going to be like a crazy shot of some ping pong happening. It's going to be like a long, unbroken. I don't remember if there was actually a shot. I remember there was definitely some dynamic shots of the ping pong. I don't know if that exact shot that I predicted happened. Sure, it did, maybe at the beginning.
What it does really well is like a lot of those starting in the crowd, and then you kind of focus in. And that's kind of where, like,
I've also talked about it can be subtle sometimes. Sometimes cinematography doesn't have to jump out at you and be super movie, like moving around.
No, I mean, look at the other 4 movies, right? They're all fucking super dramatic, over the top. Marty Supreme can be a little simpler. right?
Like,
And
would you
even
expect something like a No Other Choice that does wild crane shots like what Frankenstein does? That's probably why he doesn't get in, because they're like, well, Frankenstein did the same shit better. You know what I mean? So, like, whatever.
and
But, like,
Marty Supreme just happened to beat Hamnet and Begonia. And
yeah.
look, that's a big feat. It sucks
Begonia
for
does
Hamnet.
some really fun stuff with like shaky camera work in a good way, like that you don't always see. Like it's not like it's almost like almost found footagey at points with the way that it's like shot when they're inside like the I guess I'll call it the chamber piece aspect of it, you know, like because it's not entirely a chamber piece. Obviously, they do leave the house, but like when they're locked in that fucking house that starts to feel like a prison, you know, like fuck.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way he's using those fucking lenses and everything, God, what a movie to watch.
But I'm sure if I rewatch Marty, I'd be like, I'd appreciate the camera work a little bit more. But
it's not like it's bad camera work.
No, if it was, I'd point it out and be like, what the fuck, you know? But it's not.
It's not, like we said, it's not the big over the top or even F1, right? In terms of what that innovated, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But here's a big one: editing. Here's our second biggest pull of the day, and the nominees were One Battle After Another, Sinners, Marty Supreme, F1, and Sentimental Value, which was ranked 22nd going into this. We talked during our review. We said, you know, the editing in this movie is really fucking good. And there's times when it's flashy, like when they're morphing the faces together, for example, right? They take chances with the editing in that movie. But whoa, it beat out Hamnet. It beat out Frankenstein. It beat out A House of Dynamite, which has had all three of those have had way more love. And even No Other Choice, which again, I mean, that's what happened with No Other Choice this year. But Duke, Sentimental Value getting in for editing, fucking awesome and well deserved.
It's 100%, and it sometimes
wasn't on anyone's radar.
No, but like I mean, it's pretty cool that it gets in because I mean, like we mentioned, it does have that sort of again. Editing can be subtle. Sometimes it can be flashy. Sometimes it could be both. And I think Sentimental Value shows us the full breadth of what editing can be. I feel like the editing is a lot. It's, you know what? It's the conclave of this year. I'll say it, and this will make a lot of sense to you. Conclave is entirely held together by the edit. If you just watched Conclave without the scenes edited in the way that it was, it would probably be still good, but you'd be like, fuck, we really had to spend 4 hours telling that story or however long it actually was, whatever they shot, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever, right? But like, I feel like it is the momentum of that movie is held together in the edit, and I think Sentimental Value doesn't have as much momentum in its script in terms of like pace, right? But its slower pace is stitched together by that edit in a way that, like, when we go to those long, like really, really artistic shots where we have morphing faces and stuff like that, you know, like where it centers in and we do these real interesting editing things. I think it keeps you from being bored in those scenes because it never feels like it's slowing the pace down so much, you know. So I mean, it's actually honestly really cool that it gets in here.
Yeah, it really is.
Could F1 win this? I don't know.
I don't know how something beats One Battle, unfortunately. But you know, Nora wasn't predicted to win this last year. So again, One Battle when it comes to editing is just fucking insane. But if you want flashy, F1 and Sinners or F1 and Marty Supreme are very flashy. Marty Supreme's editing is fucking it's like drug inducing. It's so fucking flashy and good. So who knows? All right. This was the one, Duke. The biggest pull of the night. 4 people had it on Award Expert. And we go to costume design. Where we had our couple that we thought, right? Frankenstein, Sinners, Hamnet. To a degree, maybe.
Oh my God, I'm seeing it now.
Marty Supreme. But 26th on Award Expert. 4 people had it picked in the top 5. Avatar Fire and Ash is nominated for costume design.
What? For fucking Spider?
Holy shit. I couldn't fucking believe this. I can't believe this happened. This is awesome. This is one of those nominations that you just have to take a step back and be like, what the fuck just happened?
Okay,
What
so
just happened?
okay. So hear me out. I'm thinking about this. All the regular people in the movie are in like soldier uniforms, and I will
Yes.
say I don't think they looked as generic in this last
No.
one.
They've
I
never
think they probably
nominated
did
Avatar
something
for
more
this
with them, and I
before,
just wasn't
worth noting.
realizing it because it's not something I think about. But they definitely had some variety of the uniforms. You know, like I feel like there was a lot more people in this one. I feel like than the previous two. Maybe not the second one, but like there was probably on par with the amount of humans we had in that. But like my brain immediately went to, so I was like, is this just because of Spider? But it can't be. I mean, obviously he's a part of it, but like no, it's clearly it's all
It's
and
how
obviously
they did the Ash people. That's going to play into it.
does digital costume design count? I wonder. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder. Because if it does, I mean,
Yeah,
fuck it
well,
at that
clear.
point,
Yeah,
right?
it must.
You would think that would go into visual effects, but maybe they think the visual effects are so good that it counts as basically costume design. I mean, it's an entirely digital world, so what does that become? I mean, you have to start asking these questions. If we're making entire movies where there's nothing real, like in terms of like on screen,
I think Deborah Scott and
so could an
Disney
animated
did some
movie be nominated for
campaigning.
costume design? Fuck, this opens a lot of questions, you know?
It does, and it's really fucking cool. And Avatar has not been nominated for this before. It's really fucking neat. And if they're giving credit to like the Wind Traders, right, to the Ash people and all these, I mean, when you think about it, it looks fucking sick. How they designed the Ash people is awesome, man. Like,
I would love for them to come out and say what this is about. They probably won't, but I mean, the fact that we get to speculate about it, I can't wait to see what the boys think of this. Holy shit!
Oh, they're gonna lose their fucking shit, dude. You have to. This beat out Wicked. Wicked. I mean, when it lost this in the next one, production design, it's like, holy fuck, Wicked is cooked. Rough night for Wicked Forgone. But yeah, I mean, this beats Hedda, this beats Ann Lee, this beats Spider-Woman. There's so many movies that this beats. And hey, good for them. Good for Avatar Fire and Ash. This is an inspired
People are gonna
take.
have takes about this, man. That's all I know.
Hey, they can have their takes. You can't deny this isn't inspired. This is fucking nuts. Four people on Award Expert had this picked. It was ranked 26. It was the first thing Brother Bro posted on fucking Twitter. He's like, what just happened? And he shared his fucking he shared the data, which how cool is it that someone like that runs the app, by the way? Just good for him, man.
I'd rather be someone who's passionate and actually gives a shit about this stuff as opposed to someone that's just trying to make a quick buck.
I know, right?
Which is what I assume Gold Derby is. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody at Gold Derby that gives a fuck.
Oh,
but,
yeah,
you know, like the CEO of Gold Derby probably doesn't give a fucking hot shit, you know, like whereas the guy that designs the other app does, you know, like.
But you might have thought Avatar Fire and Ash would take production before that. It didn't, and Wicked still missed out. So what got in, right? Well, we have Frankenstein, which is the favorite, Sinners, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and One Battle After Another got in for production design. Big get for here. Again, that beats out, you know, Avatar Fire and Ash, Wicked for Good.
I mean, so interestingly, for One Battle in this, it's like, you know, they did a lot of production in places they hadn't even fucking scouted, you know? So, like, I think when you can pull that off and not, get, you know, fucking fined into oblivion for filming illegally. I mean, not that it would be illegal. I'm sure they did it in a public place or whatever, right? But whatever, right? I mean, that's a fate in of itself. And the rest of the movies feel like they belong here because there was obviously a lot of, Marty has the incredible design of all the ping pong stuff. Hamnet is a fucking architectural fucking feat, you know. Frankenstein, similar things.
Yeah.
Sinners. I mean, the Juke Joint is one of my favorite locations in cinema. I think I want to have 4 movies there. You know, like
so good.
Like, yeah, but like I want to see like someone else took over the Juke Joint. That's like some like maybe the fucking assholes that wanted to kick them off the farm in the first place. Maybe some of them are still alive out there. You know, I'll just say I don't think that was all the white supremacists in Mississippi. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that. You know.
Right.
And they took over, and then fucking now see, you said there was no sequel here. This is when Vampire fucking was Stack. That was the one that was alive at the end. Fucking. Or was it
They
Smoke?
kind of teased there could be one at the end there.
Well, right. Well, but I think a lot of people think that it shouldn't because of the way that was more of a prologue.
Yeah.
I think it's what Coogler has said, or it's not like epilogue more than it was like an implication of future stuff. But I mean, if he has the idea for it, he's not against sequels. He's already planning to do a third Black Panther. So, you know,
yep.
Actually, that's his next movie, awesome. I think. So, I want to say it's his next movie. Anyway, So that being said, though, I would love for him to go back and just kill more of the whites. I'll just say it. I don't give a fuck. It was fun watching him do that at the end of the movie. You know what I mean?
Makeup and hairstyling.
Sorry, his brother doing that at the end of the movie, but then he'd get his revenge on them for him, you know, because they took him or whatever at the end.
Oh, it was so fucking satisfying.
Spoilers, by the way, but I mean, we're talking about the Oscars,
good shit.
So I figure it's fine, you know, like.
Makeup and hairstyling, Frankenstein, The Smashing Machine, Sinners, The Ugly Stepsister gets in.
Whoa.
And then another big one, Kokuo.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this. I was fucking shocked.
This just leads me to believe that Frankenstein is winning the fuck out of this category, and it's not even close, but that's fine. Yeah. Cool to see Smashing Machine make it the whole way, though.
Yep, and some body horror with The Ugly Stepsister, another Sundance movie.
Bro, both Safdies are going to be sitting next to each other at the crowd. I just thought about that. Nice.
Hey! That'll be nice. The Good Brothers. But Kokuo, this wasn't on anyone's radar. I don't even know what this is. So, really cool.
Yeah, that's going to be a crazy table, to be honest with you. Shit. Fucking Timmy and The Rock, bro? Do you think they're going to fucking get together and make a movie?
Oh, shit. They might.
Oh, that might be a great movie. Hold on.
All right, best sound. Here we go.
The Rock is going to play the ghost of Raban in Dune Part 3.
F1, Sinners, One Battle, Frankenstein, and Surratt gets in for best sound. And Surratt becomes the first all-woman sound team to get in at the Academy Awards. So
has this always been Surratt's category and we've just been like sleeping on it the whole time? I wonder.
Maybe, but it could be F1's category.
True. F1 could walk away with 3 wins, bro. That'd be crazy.
Be nuts. Be awesome. All right. Best visual effects, a.k.a. the Avatar Fire and Ash category. Avatar Fire and Ash got in. F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners.
It makes me want to see Jurassic World a little bit, because if it's got good visual effects, I mean, I feel like that's kind of everything in these Jurassic movies, now that we're not doing anything practically anymore, you know, like.
Yeah, can it hold on? And then The Lost Bus, I think, got
these
in with
that. These are not Steven Spielberg's animatronics of the old days, you know, like.
Yeah. Obviously, Sinners getting visual effects was a big one here at the end to really just wrap it up for Sinners, you know? It's like you can't really go wrong with that. But, yeah, dude, I mean, look, I think nominations, predictions, all that, it's all done and out of the way now, Duke. Now we get to analyze these for the next 8 or 9 weeks and really dive in. And I don't know, after all we just went through, what is the one that makes you the most happy for? It could be a specific thing, it could be a movie, it could be anything. And what were you the most shocked about?
Yeah, man, I think the most shocking thing to me was obviously Avatar getting in for costume design. I mean, I what? You know,
yeah.
But I mean, I think for me, the thing that I'm the most disappointed in probably is Hamnet missing for cinematography, because I mean, I felt like that was a gimme. And I honestly felt like if one of the two, now I have been saying this over the last couple of weeks, that if one of the naturalistic cinematography gets in, it might be Train Dreams, even though I think Hamnet's better. But in terms of its cinematography, naturalistically, but. I mean, I guess I could see it. It does disappoint me, though, because I really thought Hamnet would, would it have been 10 nominations or 9 that it would have had if it did that, you know, like, so. Yeah,
it would have brought it up to 9.
So that would have put it in a certain category, but having 8's still pretty damn good. I mean, isn't that what Anora had last year when it won
it's
everything?
8 with 2 big, you know, the Paul Mescal snub, too, which is fucking huge.
Yeah, so it could have been 10, you know, it could have been one of the top movies of the year. It still is. I mean, 8's still a lot more than everything else has, but, you know, like, it is a little disappointing. I think the thing I'm most happy about is seeing F1 pop up all over the place. That's so cool. We didn't know, and seeing it, you know, beat out some actually good movies. Not that it's not an actually good movie, but like some movies that it's not on the caliber of. It's kind of nice to see the Oscars still awards just a fun little sports movie, because a lot of people liked F1, I think, this year. I don't remember seeing a lot of people talk about it, but I think it's because it was just a solidly good movie. You know, like, and so people were like not disappointed in it, but they weren't going to like highly, highly recommend it to their friends or anything, I don't think, which is fine, you know? But I mean, I did. I recommended it to our listeners. That's for sure. I saw it with you, bitch.
Hell yeah. look, we're definitely in agreement with the most shocking being the Avatar thing. That was fucking nuts. A second one I'll throw out there is it's Delroy Lindo, man. I mean, I did not
Diane
see
Warren
it coming.
also, like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, that was pretty big. But I didn't see the Delroy Lindo thing coming. I genuinely lost all hope in it. And for that to happen was really fucking cool. Thing that I'm kind of the most disappointed.
That leads me to believe that they all saw that shit when it came out in April and then said, "No, we're not letting this get beat out by anything. I don't care if we genuinely think something else should be in over Delroy. We're putting him in because this is not gonna. This is the type of movie that we give 16 nominations to. You know, like
that's pretty fucking. Yeah, I mean, look, it's so fucking cool that it happened. If I had to pick something that I was the most disappointed in, for sure, I think it's original screenplay, and I don't know. I was really, it was a far out dream, I know, but it's really hoping maybe by some chance of hell, Sorry Baby could get in, or Weapons. Not that I don't like the 5 that they put in, right? They're all 5 great picks, but if Weapons could have got that spot, man, I think it would have been so fucking big. And if, again, I think that would maybe, if Sorry Baby got 1 spot, could have been that. But that opens up a whole other can of worms, right? So, yeah, those would be the most. But favorite thing, man, there's a couple when I'm looking at them, I'm like, that's fucking nuts. I love that they did that. I think it's gonna have to be, and it might seem like a foregone conclusion at this point, but it's Rose Byrne, I think, really getting in, because I want to say it was November, like she was still not cracking any top 5s. We're getting into December, she's not cracking top 5s, and it's like, man, the fact that she, again, it kind of became a foregone conclusion, but still, really excited about that one. So, what a fucking day. What a group of nominations. Guys, we're going to be talking about these for eons, it feels like. But, yeah, that is it for us today. I don't know, maybe we want to do one fucking bold, out-of-line prediction that won't happen. But it could.
Delroy Lindo is. This might even happen. Delroy Lindo is winning Best Supporting Actor. It might happen.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
How about Rose Byrne winning?
That would be fucking nuts. Those are good. Shit. Okay. I got one for you. The voice of Hein Rajab winning international feature film.
I'm thinking that's one too, dude. After seeing it last night, dude. By the way, we're gonna have to review that later tonight. I haven't talked to you about that, but we're definitely doing that after I get off work. Because I want to talk.
I'll give you another one.
Okay.
The Ugly Stepsister winning makeup.
Hey, being in there at all signals to me that they at least like the movie enough to get it in. So
could be back-to-back years of body horror, but again, I guess you could also consider Frankenstein body horror. So it might still count.
Would Josh Safdie for winning Best Director be the craziest thing in the world?
This year, it'd be fucking nuts.
There's one for you then.
That's one.
Because it could happen. His momentum has been continuously building as that movie continues to build momentum itself. So,
yeah.
What would be a screenplay shock? Begonia, obviously, but I mean, like,
yeah, it's just here. There is one thing I do want to put out there. I think Sinners destroying the record for nominations is going to influence some people into thinking it's going to, it could have a chance to beat one battle after another. And I do think, I mean, it's even doing it to me to an extent, right? I'm like, could it? But I think it is important to maybe kind of remember and just like, if this guy wins, if PTA wins director, right? And he's winning it every fucking step of the way till we get to the Oscars. No matter what, it's like we were saying, it's going to kickstart some insane discourse, right? But I don't know. I think it for people that are listening to us, maybe if Sinners is your number one, right? And the nominations is like, dude, we're gonna take this whole thing. I'd just be like, let's take it down a notch in terms of don't get your hopes up too much, because I do think fucking this movie's gonna win the DGA, and then I just again I still don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Leo doesn't win Best Actor. Like, yeah, there's a good shot he doesn't, right? But you got to keep him in the back of your mind. It is Leonardo DiCaprio we're talking about here. So, I can't wait for the discourse. I can't wait for the day after whatever wins Best Picture. Film Twitter is going to say it's the worst movie ever. And it's going to be great. Just like Anora, right? Worst movie ever. Worst movie ever. How could this ever win? Well, you only care because it won. Fuck you. So, yeah.
I got one more absurd shock.
All right.
Potential win.
This is all right.
Best Picture.
Oh shit.
F1.
And on that bombshell,